Every life is riddled with milestones, some good, some bad, some neutral, some melancholy. March 27th, 2014 is a milestone that I will never, ever forget. That was the day that my abuser was arrested in New Orleans. That was the day that changed everything and nothing at all. I remember it well. I was in a hotel that night. I had been working in Phoenix and living in California at the time, so my company put me up in a hotel every single week. And as it was on most nights in a hotel by myself, I found myself watching TV, checking Facebook, counting the tiles on the ceiling, anything to take my mind off the fact that I was away from my family and my dogs. Well, I got a private message from somebody. For the sake of discretion, of course, I won't share their name here, but this gentleman, I'll give you that, contacted me and began apologizing, saying, please forgive me, and I had no idea what they were talking about, none whatsoever. Well, it turned out that they already knew about the arrest, and I guess it assumed I did, but why would I? I wasn't tracking my abuser. I wanted nothing to do with my abuser. It had been 22 years since I had left them. Why on earth would I want to engage? Well, the gentleman apologized. Of course, at the time that everything had happened, they were just a child, so of course they were forgiven. But that night changed everything. I didn't get any sleep. I remember that much. And I remember contacting my daughter to tell her, hoping that I would get there before some of our mutual friends might spill the beans. Fortunately, I was able to do that. We chatted on and off through private messaging, probably till 4:30 or so in the morning. I left for work about an hour after we had stopped chatting. And somehow I managed to drive back from Phoenix that day all the way out to California. Thankfully, the desert floor was beautiful. There were new blooms across there, and it was giving me a sense of hope, but still. He'd been arrested on charges of child pornography. I think the only real thoughts that were going through my head that whole day were get home to my family, make sure that my children were okay, regroup as a family, see how we were all feeling, followed immediately by a sense of overwhelming anger. If people had only believed me when I had said what had happened 20 some odd years prior. And because they didn't, how many other people, how many other victims were there as a result of this? And my heart sank and I cried. It would be a day or two before I would begin the arduous process of reaching out to people, but I did agree to be interviewed by one particular online magazine. My daughter told me not to. I didn't listen. The net result of my reaching out to offer healing, support, just to be present for anyone that might also have been hurt by this monster of a person, was ultimately I was sued. Not once, twice. First in family court for breaking a gag order. Really? By then, our son was 28 years old and well out of the custody battle. That case, of course, was thrown out. The second time came about 6 months after that, and that was in civil court, where the bar is so much lower, and I was being sued for defamation of character, and part of the criminal defense in New Orleans was that I had somehow posted the images on their computer. Look, I can barely get my vlog to look the way it wants, and I teach web design, you would think. But hacking? No, not my thing. Not my thing at all. And What a strange day today has been. I dressed up like a grown-up even though I'm working from home, and I can just as easily wear my pajamas, but I put on a pretty dress to make myself feel better. I put on real makeup and earrings and jewelry, anything to just remind myself that I'm not living in a van. I'm no longer being abused. I am in control. I can buy beautiful clothing and jewelry for myself, or be gifted with them, as is the case with this necklace. So many people from my past poured into my present. Life can be a Mobius strip for sure, and March 27th through the next few days in March and across into April proved to be just that, one long Mobius strip of people reaching out, many to apologize for not having believed me, some to say they'd had suspicions but didn't know what to do. Well, of course no one knew what to do. It had been 20 some odd years. We didn't know what we didn't know back then. Domestic violence was not really talked about, not really recognized, not really known. But that day in March, in 2014, everything changed, and I found a voice and an inner strength and a fierceness to see justice like never before. I hope I never lose that edge. I hope no one else ever suffers the way my family did. I know that's a pipe dream, but a girl can dream. And dreaming is something that I've been reclaiming every single day.